Capricorn, it's Suzanne with Sunny Forest Tarot here to do part 3 of your reading series. So far for you, we have seen some energy around potentially seeing somebody as your forever in part 1. And in part 2, we talk about how change is so important in keeping a relationship or connection, any relationship, fresh in a stage of, eternal growth. All right, so we're going to get started here. All right, we're going to start with our one Lenormand card for you, Capricorn. And we've got a brand new deck here. I haven't seen any cards that have come out for you twice as of yet. Okay, so the one thing that has shown up in between your two prior readings is the King and the Queen of Wands. So chances are, if you're in a connection or a relationship, you're connected through your passion. Okay, so right here we have the situation, what you're manifesting in this situation, details that you may be able to see, maybe you can't see. All right, and then finally, guidance. All right, so let's see, what do we have here for you, Capricorn? Interesting, we've got the clock. Okay, so this usually speaks to a feeling of running out of time. There might be a situation that you feel like you are running out of time in this situation, whatever it is. Again, with each reading, it can take a completely different turn, or it can tell a big story for you. All right, so let's see, what is this about? Look at this, Seven of Pentacles. What is Seven of Pentacles about? It's about contemplating what's next for you in your life. And I feel like there's some sense of urgency here for you. You might feel like you're running out of time when it comes to a particular relationship or a particular situation in your life. You've reflected on where you've been, how far you've come, and where you want to go. All right, so we got to get more details on that. So what are you manifesting in this situation? All right, so we've got Four of Swords, which is all about just taking your time. It's about doing a lot of thinking. It feels like the time for thinking has come and gone. I almost feel like this Four of Swords really wants to be in the reverse, really wants to get you up and out and doing something. The reason you're worried is because you're not taking action towards something that you feel is important in your life, okay? We don't know exactly what that is yet. So what are the details that maybe we can't see here? Eight of Swords. So, Eight of Swords. This is the detail. You feel like there's something you need to do. You might feel like there's something you need to say specifically, because we have swords, which are about communication, also thinking. You feel that there's something that you need to do, and yet at the same time, it's like you feel like you can't move. And the reason that you feel like you can't move is because you're doing this to yourself. You're also doing this to yourself. You can get up out of that bed anytime you want. You can get out of these ropes and swords and take off that blindfold anytime you want. So this is interesting. What is the guidance here? Look at this, Nine of Swords. So, when a card like this comes up in a guidance or advice situation, we really have to look at it in terms of it being in the reverse. I feel like Spirit is saying that you know, whatever it is that you're thinking about, whatever it is that's keeping you from moving, whatever it is that's keeping you up at night, that, whatever that is, that needs to be addressed. Okay? I mean, this is a definite message here. We're talking about what's next, what feels right, what feels good, you know, and I feel like you're putting some unnecessary pressure on yourself, that something has to happen at a certain time for some reason. All right, so let's see. I want to actually look at the Eight of Swords first. What is keeping you from feeling like you can move? Nine of Wands. Okay, so that makes sense. The Nine of Wands is about somebody that has maybe taken some risks in their life, and those particular risks haven't necessarily gone their way. Okay, so the more risks that we take where things work out, the more likely we are to take risks in the future, right? But when we move towards the unknown, when we take a risk, when we take a chance, and we repeatedly see the result that we don't want, you know, we put up a wand every time that happens. You know, this person here feels like they have some real battle wounds. So you might feel like you have some battle wounds, you know, when it comes to whatever the situation is that you're thinking, you're thinking about the next step for you. The next step for you feels risky. It feels like you need to be cautious with any action that you take. That's why you're in this Eight of Swords energy. You're just going around and around thinking about all of these wands that you've been putting up over the course of your life, which it really is about how you're looking at these wands though too. You know, first of all, you should feel good anytime that you take, you know, especially a calculated risk. You should feel good, you know, and then how you define a good result versus a bad result, you might want to take a look at that too, because if you deem certain situations as having been a bad result, think about what possibly came after that. Usually when something that we think goes wrong, it usually takes us to a better place. So you might remember the specific events that went wrong, but do you remember the events that went right after the events that went wrong? So ultimately, you might have ended up or landed in the place that you were supposed to at that time. Okay? So I feel like that's why the guidance is coming through, as there's no need to worry about what you're going to do next. And more importantly, there's no reason to put a time limit on it. Let's see. Let's look at the clock and find out why this sense of urgency. Three of Cups. Okay. So have we seen, yeah, we have seen Three of Cups for you in your prior readings this week. So that's a significant card for you. You know, I almost feel like you are trying, in some particular situation, you're trying to mesh what you love possibly with a friendship. You might be turning a friendship into a love relationship, or you might be dealing with a situation where there are potentially too many people in that situation. Three of Cups in its basic form is celebration, but it's also friendship, and it can be evolving friendship, right? It can be a friendship that's evolving into more, or a friendship that you want to see evolve into more. Let's clarify the Seven of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. Okay, so here's the problem. Here's why you are staying stuck. You are absolutely worried. You're worried about what's next. You're worried that ultimately you're going to be putting up another wand. You're going to be left out in the cold, feeling like, here we go again. Here we go again. I'm failing again. And I feel like Spirit really wants you to take a second look at how you are looking at what you consider to be failures. Okay? All right, so Four of Swords. Okay, the Moon. We have also seen the Moon for you this week. You know, it's like when you're thinking about a situation, you know, you can see this lurking dark energy here in the water. Okay, so I feel like there is something lurking, or you feel there is something lurking that can really hurt you emotionally, okay? That really makes you fearful when it comes to, you know, your emotions, your heart involved in a particular situation where you may feel a little bit in the dark. Moon energy. This is Pisces energy. That's really the only sign that I see here. And it's interesting because, you know, we've got Pentacles here. As far as your reality, you know, your real world experience, you've had some unsatisfying situations, okay, that haven't gone your way. You have reflected on these, but I don't feel like you're reflecting on these situations maybe in the best way. You are thinking about all of the negative outcomes, and all of those negative outcomes are manifesting in this dark energy lurking in your emotions. Okay, that's what you're spending your time thinking about, and it is not serving you. All right, so let's get some more advice here. Not to worry. And then we have the Hangman, or the Hangman. Not to worry, and this is what we're talking about, right? We're talking about looking at things from a different perspective. And I feel like it's redefining what the dark energy is, okay? Or the fact that the dark energy or the shadow, all right, could actually have been serving you your whole life, okay? Moving you towards your light, you know, giving you new perspective. You know, people that go through life where everything falls into place really easily, they don't have the benefit. They don't have the benefit of when something finally does fall into place, you know, after some failures. They don't have the benefit of knowing really why things fall into place for them. They don't necessarily appreciate or have the gratitude of why things fall in place easily for them. Some people are meant to have a very easy path on this plane, and the people that have the easiest path on this plane are usually the youngest souls, okay? So what you can feel good about is, you know, the people that have the most struggle and learn the most lessons from those struggles are definitely more evolved souls who are ready to handle that. So I really feel like this is about reevaluating maybe some of the dark energy and some of the dark places you've been in your life, and realizing that each shadow situation probably led you to a better situation or is leading you to a better situation. You know, sometimes, you know, you might fall 4, 5, 6, 10 times before you know, you find the right thing, but you walk away having the benefit of understanding all of those situations and maybe why they weren't for you, why they weren't working out, what you have learned. You've gained the benefit of knowing what doesn't work for you, so you know what does. All right. So this reading feels a little bit more like a lesson reading versus a specific reading about a particular situation. But I feel like this is about applying this to whatever situation you're in, because you would define the last few similar situations as being not working out, or being dark, or being shadow. And I feel like it's really for your benefit that you have experienced this. Chances are, if this resonates with you in some way, you are an old soul. I don't know, I'm losing my voice. I'm sorry. All right, so just one card for this one. What do we have here? Spiritual or religious community. Join with like-minded people for friendship and increase spiritual growth. This reading is about growth. And what you would find, especially in the spiritual community, you know, wherever you find like-minded people, okay? And you know, there's a lot of channels out there, a lot of tarot channels that do have specific communities and social media. I just really don't like to participate in social media for the most part. But there's a lot of places where you can find like-minded people. And I will tell you that most of the people that, you know, are in some type of an awakening process, or realizing that there's more to life than, you know, what you see, hear, feel, and taste, have been through some really big struggles. The people that have the easiest path in life never really have the chance or have the desire to look beyond the physical world. And that's because they are younger souls. All right. So when you do have the gift of struggle in life, it really is about evolving spiritually. Struggle, you know, makes people reach out to the universe, trying to figure out, you know, is there more than what I'm seeing in this particular miserable situation? Yeah, you know, the complications, when you run into those complications in life, it really is about elevating yourself spiritually, right? I mean, if you think about all of the great spiritual leaders, all of them had to go through some major struggles in their life, okay? Because they were evolved souls, they were evolved beings, and that's how they became evolved and spiritual and connected to their higher self and to source, right? So you've been blessed with the opportunity to do that and see more than just what is actually happening in the situation. You're an old soul, okay? All right, Capricorn, that is what I have for you. That is part 3. Look forward to wrapping it up with part 4 tomorrow, which will probably be a little bit of a longer video. And I will talk to you then. All right, thanks so much. Bye.